as expected. Umpires this afternoon, Andrew Coates, Martin Ellis and Dean Margetts will be the man to get proceedings underway. Collingwood looking to get their 12th win of the season. I believe still a real good chance to finish in the top 2. Underway here at Subiaco for round 17. McKee and Gardner. Gardner the first to give the tap, but welcome back Nathan Buckley, his first possession. Driving the Magpies forward, Jakovich. Little look away give. Wooden, his best season for the West Coast Eagles. Up the boundary, good kick, good skills. They opened beautifully last week with their skill level in the first quarter, but then it tapered away.
And Phil Matera starting on the wing too, Matthew.
Cousins with a very good mark. Heavy clash as a Collingwood player down. No man on the mark. Cousins decides to back himself. Set shot at goal. Doesn't make the distance. Doesn't matter. Williams marks inside the goal square.
It looks like Jason Cloakett might be that's gone down.
Looks to be in a bad way. As we take a look at the mark, Williams just laying off Tarkin Lockyer. Good start for him. 15 goals, 10 for the season. This almost a gimme, but unfortunately Collingwood in trouble behind play. Williams gets the first goal at Subiaco. Cloak is up, which is good. We'll take a look at the collision, Ross.
Yes, he ran
into Steinford.
Into Steinford, so nothing too, just caught him by surprise, and he's a pretty tough young boy, and he has started up at centre-half back on David Sierakowski and replacing Presti Como. And Phil Matera, as I mentioned, has started on the wing, so just getting him away from that forward position.
Perfect start for the West Coast Eagles. Andrew Williams enjoys playing at Subiaco Oval. Has kicked now 16 goals for the season. Tapped down by Gardner. Buckley beset upon by Fletcher. Another secondary ball up.
Given as we match up too, we've got Josh Wooden, who's been the normal run-with player in the midfield, is actually starting in the back pocket on Nick Davis. At the moment, Buckley is relatively free, although Wirapunda is his opponent.
Bounce in the middle, slap-handed backwards by Gardner. Judd and Fletcher combine. Met solidly, a double tackle from Collingwood, Fletcher. And we'll have yet another ball up, still in the middle of Subi.
Fletcher's gone to Burns, looking to get on to Burns.
Correct.
A lot of players around this football. Pushing and shoving, McKee and Gardner. Gardner wins the tap. O'Brien went to ground. Hunter to Philip Matera, long way down from goal. Left foot kick down the line. Hunter's first attempt to Haynes' first attempt to mark was inside the boundary. Second was over. We'll have a throw in forward. 50. Phil Matera working well down the ground.
It's just to get him into the game pretty early, which is important.
The Eagles head-to-head dominate 16-9, of course. One draw. Inside 50. Sierakowski. Williams overruns the footy. Haynes taken over by Scott, and we'll have a throw back in. Eagles lead 1 straight 6. Collingwood yet to score. We've gone 3 minutes first quarter. Crowd building up around 35,000 at Subi.
Sierakowski once again to do battle. McKee over the top. Fletcher quickly to Williams.
Free kick, Matthew is thrown out of it late, Williams.
So a good start by Andrew Williams. He's kicked the first goal. He now take a shot from inside his forward 50 as Scott Burns pleads the case for the Magpies.
Yeah, he can't really plead there, though, can he? I mean, he definitely hung on to him too long and then threw him out of the contest when the ball was more than 5 metres away. So good decision by the umpire.
Both these respective sides have won 10 of their 16 first quarters. Williams for his second, and a promising start for the West Coast Eagles. Coming back, swinging, late enough, kicks the goal. Great start by Andrew Williams and the West Coast Eagles. Good highlights that you may see on the winners, 7:30 every Sunday night, or perhaps on the couch with Jared, Mike and Robert Walls, 8:30 Monday night. And your guest this week is former Adelaide captain Mark Buckley.
And you saw the infringement there. It was good camera work there. And Williams is an interesting player. Played 80 games. He's the sort of player that needs to play consistent footy. That's a very good opening 10 minutes for him. that's the sort of thing he can produce.
Andrew Williams jumped up and kicked a couple of goals when a late inclusion for West Coast against Carlton earlier in the year, and he's done the same here at home at Subiaco. 2 goals. He's kicked the total score of the game. Gardner easy to Fletcher to Banfield in the middle of the ground. Kicks to half forward. Ben Johnson does well. Outstretched right arm. He's got the job on Kerr, who was very good against Fremantle last week. And that ball ended up right on the boundary line. Umpire coach says, I will ball it up.
And now Drew Banfield, Tim, has gone to Buckley, I should say, so that matchup will sit for a while.
It's been a while since Collingwood played at Subiaco Oval. Hasn't been a happy hunting ground. Umpire goes down. Umpire Coates. Lockyer up. Turn around. Good kick. Good mark taken by Burns. Just backward of right centre wing. And a very good player. Close to Collingwood's best player this year. Onto Steinfurt. Long kick. Tarrant coming out hard. Conacher put his body on the line. Banfield wants to keep the ball in front. That is as deliberate as they come. And he's been penalised.
He had no option, but he's just too obvious about it, Tim. You're right. I mean, the fact was he needed to go to the boundary line. He got his body in front, but was just too, there we go, too distinct about it. Should have been a little more subtle.
Josh Fraser, hemmed up, tight angle. He's kicked 23 goals. Tough pocket to kick goals from. Bit narrow. He's gone short. Minor score. But the first score for Collingwood took 6.5 minutes. West Coast lead 12-1.
Wooden goes short, wants McIntosh and finds him. Back to Josh Wooden now. Cousins. Spots Jakovich. Hits him on the half volley. They're under pressure. McIntosh. High ball. O'Brien there for the Magpies. Ball bounces for Josh Wooden, with him Hunter. Good tackle by Buckley. Judd gave it away. Scotland through the middle of the ground. Beautiful pass. Wonderful vision from Heath Scotland, coming off an excellent game against the Tigers. 24 disposals last week. And now a much easier shot on goal for Josh Fraser, who has kicked 17 goals in the last 6 games. Becoming a real focal point for this Magpie side. As Tim mentioned, he's kicked 23 goals for the season. Just the second time the Magpies have been inside 50. It'll be very easy now as Ben Cousins runs straight through the mark. Umpire Coates right on him. You can mark it down for a goal to Josh Fraser, mark it down to a brain explosion from Ben Cousins.
See, that's you just wouldn't credit an experienced player that would make that mistake.
Fraser gets the Magpies first as he kicks it up to the 3rd level.
Getting back to the delivery in the first place, Matthew, the fact was that Scotland was showed a lot of poise there, did the right thing, got the footy across the middle of the ground, looked up and spotted Fraser, who would probably have kicked the goal anyway, but Ben Cousins just transgressing there and going across the mark, and the decision for the 50 was correct.
Four scoring shots, and they've come off the boot of 2 players. Williams has kicked 2 straight for West Coast. Fraser 1-1 for the Pies. Brilliant tap down, sharked by Fletcher. Eagles go forward inside 50. Out hard, Lynch, mark.
Well, he ducked his head just at the last minute, Tim, but he had done all the right work prior to that. Had his hands on the football, was expecting contact from Wakeland from behind, but great work out of the middle, as you called it. Spot on. Fletcher on the burst, didn't have to change stride, got the ball cleanly and deliberately passed to Lynch. Now, this is an important kick for the young fellow who came into the side to replace Wilson. Needs to kick this just to get his confidence up and make a good start.
Promoted off the rookie list. He's kicked 8 goals, and that's a bad hook. He's missed.
That's an indication, Tim, to a little bit that the ground is a bit soft. His planted foot just moved slightly, so it put him off, and he really tried to barge that ball through. So a little bit more care next time.
6-point margin as Lockyer goes short. Lacuria back to Tarkin. Lockyer runs with confidence through his defensive 50 to the wing. O'Brien the target, does well, keeps his balance, wrapped up nicely by Matera. Turnover now. Jakovich provides or gets a good shepherd, kicks up towards Haynes. He can't mark. Out to Judd from Cousins. Haynes once again into a little bit of space. Spots a player inside 50. Andrew Williams. This will be the toughest of his 3 shots at goal. Is it within his range, Tim?
Right on it. He'll kick from probably 52, 53, but he has, well, the breeze is coming across the ground. He'll have a shot. I mean, they practice from this range.
Yeah, no, his previous shot, which just made it, was probably from 45. Had a bit of a boomerang on it, but yeah, I think I agree with Tim. Just on his line.
Williams for a dream start. We're right behind him. This would be his 3rd goal of the quarter. He has tried to put too much into the kick and has hooked it as far as he'd like, out of bounds on the full.
Couple of hook kicks by the West Coast Eagles. Lynch and now Williams. Wakelin. Clement. Super player this year. Really transformed since leaving Fremantle. Jason Cloak. Ball eventually over. Good to see he's made a full recovery after, at one stage, the Collingwood trainers called for the stretcher. The 4-minute mark of the first quarter. In fact, it was the 1-minute mark of the first quarter. The stretcher wasn't required, and Jason Cloak is still on his feet. Tick under 13 minutes, remaining first quarter. Eagles lead by 7 points. Gardner, very busy. Johnson, head down, taken high, no free kick, ball spills to Kerr, to Wapunda, waited for the handball, has a bounce, approaches 50, steps inside once, twice, has another bounce, cap it off David Wapunda, cap it off, he does! Brilliant stuff!
Well, that's what we come to the footy to see, Tim, and as we see Troy Wilson applauding, who's missed out today as a late replacement by Quinton Lynch, but that is just electrifying football from David Wirapunda. He started off well last week. We've seen the clinches here. Kerr gets the ball out very cleverly, and just let's watch Wirapunda take on 4 or 5 Magpie players. Gets himself within range, steadies. Brilliant. You can't teach that. Great play.
Certainly one of the goals of the year so far by David Wirapunda. Out to a 12-point margin. Outstanding stuff for his 24th goal of the year. Back in the middle, O'Brien wants Lockyer over the top, approaching Williams. Slaps it back into the contest. O'Brien ridden into the ground by Banfield. Back towards Lockyer. Give on the up, Buckley. Good pressure by the West Coast, trying to force the turnover. O'Brien is up to the pressure and away. Rocker perhaps could have gone over the top to Burns, but gets inside the forward 50 with a long kick. Colliker having another solid season in the back half for the West Coast. Played every game. Only 3 of the West Coast Eagles have played every game. They've turned it over now. Burns. Colliker in front. Crumbing Didac. Good give. Scotland round the body. Not a bad shot at goal. Just across the face. It was Chris Tarrant, I'm sorry.
Poor kick coming out too, Matthew, from Josh Wood, and it set that up a little bit for Collingwood anyway. They were away West Coast with a good mark to Colliker, but his kick fell short. They were able to punch it back in.
Good game of footy. McIntosh often takes the long option, kicks it long to half back. Gardner up, punched down by Rocker. Well done, Rocker. Good rove. Should loop it over a hand pass. Swats it down and rebounded back to him. Here's Carroll. Just his 2nd game for the year. Got a problem. Looks to the boundary line again. Umpire says throw it in. He hand pass it, disguised it a tad better than Drew Banfield.
Yeah, no, it was subtle enough. It was well played because he was under pressure, Tim, so he did the right thing. And he'd be nervous, as you said. First game back for some time. Good pressure from Davis.
Probably helped having a different umpire out there. Didac, Josh Fraser, snap off one step across the face. Eagles can win out. Will the ball stay in? No. Jakovich ran it over the line. McMalthouse looks on.
Anthony Rocker gone into the ruck for a bit of a breather for Steve McKee. He's gone to centre half forward.
Open forward line for the West Coast. Plenty of players in the defensive 50. Lucuria bends it. Not far enough. The crowd applauding for what is a kick out of bounds on the full.
Great pressure across the ground from West Coast today so far in this first quarter. They really are asserting themselves at every contest and not allowing Collingwood to run free.
Josh Wooden, short pass. Fletcher started nicely. Possession number 5. On the lead, the mark is Sierakowski. Kick to the advantage of Banfield. It was an intelligent kick. It was over his head so he could run onto it. Just 2 players from each side up forward. Loney keeps his feet for the moment. Williams fighting hard. 3 Magpies in there. Rupert Batheris at the bottom. We have a ball up right on the forward 50. 10.5 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. Over 37,000 people at Subiaco as Leon Davis has his first spell on the bench. Nick Davis, his namesake, has come on. Good day for football. Buckley. Lucuria, want to be quick. In the end, he was good enough to the advantage of Burns. Scotland. Saw him spot Fraser beautifully before. That is another intelligent kick. Such great foot skills from Heath Scotland. And Nick Davis straight into the action.
Yes, you're right, Matthew. It's the second time he's been able to spot up a forward, and it could well have gone to Fraser, but Davis, who's such a dangerous forward, just struggling to find some real form at the moment, but he's a sort of player that can come on and do the mercurial.
Well, we know he kicks the ball a long way, so the distance won't be a problem. It is just a question of accuracy. Davis, beautiful kick. Wonderful goal from Nick Davis. Collingwood get their second, and they get the margin back to 5 points. Straight onto the ground, straight into the scorebook.
Yes, and we see now Drew Banfield coming off for a breather, and Casey Green comes on, but the 2 kicks from Heath Scotland he's had have been spot on. They've given Collingwood goals, so he's been important across that midfield area. And there he spots up Davis. We said it could well have been Fraser. Important change. It works out for you pretty well sometimes.
%. Goal from a kick. And Heath Scotland was delivered 2 beautiful passes to Fraser and Nick Davis. He's had a wonderful last 5 or 6 weeks. He's certainly been a key midfielder. And that kick was smothered down by Werpunda by his own man, Casey Green. It hit him in the schnoz. It's rebounded back inside 50. Free kick, and it's going to go the Eagles' way. And it's going to go to Sierakowski for a hold against Loney.
Yes, that's one thing about David Sierakowski. He will fight for front position, and he will give you a contest across half forward. That's there's no doubt. And getting front position there, he just drew that free kick. And again, a bit like Lynch, it's important for his own confidence. He gets back and kicks a goal here. These opportunities don't always come.
David Sierakowski from just inside 50. It's a bit of a floater, but it's straight enough for a goal.
And in the absence of Troy Wilson, Lynch coming in, and then Sierakowski being brought back in, they were going to be quite big, but these conditions suit them very much so. And Sierakowski, as we just see young Haynes, they're getting some treatment for I beg your pardon, Casey Green getting some treatment for a bloodied nose. But Sierakowski certainly will be a workhorse, might also relieve Gardner in the ruck if Cox also can play forward. So some flexibility there for the West Coast Match Committee.
Just his second goal for the year in only his 4th game. Margin back out to 11. Clement always gets plenty of distance. Once Didac. Spoil from Colica was good. In the right spot, Cousins. Back to Jakovich. The champions combined. That kick should favour Rupert Batheris, and it does. He's played every game this season. Loney. Scotland. Kick around the corner. Lakeland has plenty of time. He just needs to keep it in. To the wing. Hunter and Rocker. Hunter will find the boundary. 4-1 plays 2-2. An improved player this season, Adam Hunter, and getting Ross, I guess, much more responsibility.
Yeah, he's either played backward, if he has gone forward, he's kicked goals, so it's been an important period in his football development.
Rocker to do battle with Gardner. Gardner on top in that department. Fletcher slips the tackle, gives it to Green. Arriving late, McKee.
It's a mark, or free kick.
Yep. Over the shoulder was the decision paid by umpire Dean Margetts, and Sierakowski takes the free kick. Plays on to Werpunda, already with a magnificent goal. Over the top of Lynch, here's Matera, dangerous in these circumstances, to ground and up again. The numbers went out though for the Magpies. Clement, Lucuria under pressure, good give on the up Loney. Open forward line for Collingwood here. over the back of Jakovich and Rocker. Turning around, Glen Jakovich, and turning Rocker around. Great start by Glen Jakovich, the 4-time best and fairest. Good spoil from Loney. Searching for the boundary and finds it.
To say, Matthew, it's the second time. Glen Jakovich has always lacked real penetration in his kicking. If the kick had a lower trajectory with a bit more power, you'll find that would have got to Wirapunda before Loney got there, which is a very good spoil, very well read. Undid all his good work with just a softer kick.
Michael Gardner dominating the ruck taps. That's his 11th hit out in this quarter already. Certainly dominating the big man department. Buckley tackled strongly by Green. Gets umpire will come in and bounce.
Well, he'll continue to do so while Collingwood play McKee, a kick behind the play at half-back.
But it has opened the way for Chad Fletcher, who's had 6 disposals, Ben Cousins 5, so the big number 1 is feeding his midfielders. It's tapped down 12 and goes straight to Cousins. His partner in crime, step around, hand pass back, off one step, Wapunda inside 50. Phil Matera's got a problem here, and that's a lack of height. Collingwood have numbers. Williams to Johnson, intercepted. Ben Johnson, he's fast too, and he's legal. Rocker, kick Fraser, lost his man Jakovich. Now it is an open forward line. Nick Davis says kick it long. So Josh Fraser from 55 metres needs a good shepherd, gets the goal. Good play, good transformation by Collingwood 2 to Josh Fraser.
Good call, Tim. It was a great transference of play, and that's what you need to do. If you see the fumble across your half-back line from the opposition player, get the ball quickly, transfer it forward, and catch those people off guard. Jakovich did just stumble at the last minute, so Fraser then turned quickly, he saw the opportunity. Davis was in support. He's able just to keep Wooden out of the way. It's an important reply.
Trading goals here at Subiaco. That's 6 goals, 3 apiece. The margin once again back to 5 points. The Collingwood forward line very open at the moment, looking very dangerous when they move it in by foot. Gardner went early. McKee from the centre, playing in front. Tarrant.
Oh,
that's a mark, wasn't it?
Well, Tarrant's claiming it's a mark. Umpire disagrees.
I reckon it bounced off his foot and bounced back into his arms.
That's okay. Didn't hit the ground.
No, I agree.
Let's take a look.
Are we right, Tim?
Yes.
Oh, Shin, that's
yes,
a mark. Play that.
He did it the hard way, but he still marked it.
Ball up, just outside the centre square. 6 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Fraser, but Cousins manages to get boot to ball and free kick.
Yeah, it was held early before he actually controlled the footy, Matthew, so that's by Lucuria. So good decision by Martin Ellis.
Cousins with his 7th possession. We know he gets plenty of the football. Averages 24 disposals. In the top 4 or 5 in the AFL. Josh Wooden. Gardner. Keeps it low. Gives Williams a chance from the front, and he's got it.
Plays tall, Matthew. He's deceiving. He has a very good pair of hands. He just needs to finish a little better. I know he's got a couple so far.
Well, again, he's going to be tested. He's kicking from outside his 50. His 4th shot at goal for the quarter. And again, it is untidy because going for distance gets the drop ball wrong.
You're better off if you think you're just a bit short of your distance, set it up to the top of the square, or just hold back and wait for someone to give the ball off to who's in a better position.
They boo Buckley.
Sign of respect.
Not sure why. They boo Hurd here as well. Still haven't worked that one out either.
No, they're just jealous.
Tarkin Lockyer, whose dad is a groundsman here at Subiaco Oval. And he would know every part of this grass. But Subi and Tarkin Lockyer wouldn't be happy with that kick. Out of bounds. Half forward left for West Coast. Subiaco, well done, McKee. Kick smothered down, Lucuria, rebounded, Judd. Looked up, great vision, spots up Green. Running for him, Wooden. Goes with the left-handed handball. Joshy Wooden doesn't kick many goals from 35 metres. It's a shocking kick, but it is a goal. His 2nd for the year.
And again, Tim, the importance of midfielders running, get the ball in the overlap, don't become stationary, just set the ball up, keep it moving, keep the opposition guessing, which is what they did there. And Buckley wasn't sure who to go to in the end. It was a very ordinary kick, but it doesn't matter. Goes straight over the umpire's head. He's been playing off half-back so far today, perhaps in the pocket, more so with Leon Davis, but he's now off the ground. So Wooden is finding himself running back with Nick Davis.
6 kicks to Josh Wooden, good start, and Ross, they're winning at the clearances, West Coast.
That's the important thing, and also through the middle of the ground with Gardner being quite dominant.
10-6 the clearances. Collingwood, however, out of the middle of 1-4-3. Ball going nowhere. 4.5 minutes remaining. It's been goal for goal. It's a 12-point margin. Ball up once again. Free kick is going to Collingwood.
Jumper holding.
Yep.
Adkins.
Damien Adkins, finally back in this side. Good to see him back. Talented player. Buckley there, who'd run on hard. Adkins' first game since round 13 of 2000. Callum Chambers has started on the bench as usual for the West Coast, now finds himself on the ground. Gardner once again, well, that was Cox. Tarrant. Jakovich gets a woeful bounce. Doesn't quite sit for Buckley either. He's got to beat 2. Jakovich. Playing with great confidence. Adkins goes back. Wirapunda, too clever. Tries to draw him, now kicks to the outer side. Sirakoski on a lead. Loney right with him, bounces for Sirakoski, manages to get it forward. And it'll be a Collingwood kick for out of bounds on the full. It'll be taken by Jason Cloke. Cloke. Look here for a spell. 12 points to the Eagles. Free kick. It's going to Chris Tarrant for a push.
Good decision, hand on the shoulder. Trent Carroll came over the top to spoil. Got the elevation, but certainly did put one left arm on the shoulder, no doubt about that. Long way down, Chris Tarrant kicks to half-forward. Dimartina just on the ground. Ball spills. Braun likewise having a late run in the first quarter. Kicks to half-forward. Gardner marks. It's his second mark, but he's touched the ball a lot. He's had 13 hit-outs. Now, there's no one on the mark. Gardner to Cox. 27.5 minutes gone. Eagles lead by 12 points. Patient build-up. Wirapunda for the little handball receiver around the back. Short pass, and Braun has run on. 3 or 4 possessions later and has it too far out to score 60 metres out. Looking for options. Will he just try and kick it back into the square to Gardner, who might have a bit of height on his hands? Judd up. Oh, they spoiled each other in the end. Phil Matera ekes a hand pass out. Chad Fletcher, right foot snap, missed. Free kick. Pushing the back, and it's going to go to Phil Matera.
Well, the umpire there, Martin Ellis, right on the spot, so we might see that again. But a fair congestion of players. Gardner, I thought, perhaps could have just protected Chris Judd a little bit, who had front position. Sometimes players don't have the vision for that. Here's Matera. Well, 2 players, Clement and I think Burns over the top, so the free kick there.
Phil Matera, 26 goals for the year. Make it 27. And the Eagles had their biggest lead of the game, 18 points.
It was interesting that the West Coast Match Committee thought, let's get Phil Matera up and into the middle of the ground, trying to get him some touches early, and it's worked fairly well. He started on the wing, then he's now pushed probably about the 15-minute mark. So we see that collision there between Gardner and Judd, and then Matera just sat upon him. In fact, it was Jason Cloke. I said Burns, and it was Cloke and Clement. So it's an early goal for him, which, as Tim said, he's been a good goal kicker this year, but he's had a couple of quiet spots. It's important he gets back into the game.
Margin out to 3 goals now, with just 2 minutes remaining. McKee. Lovely give by Burns to Adkins. Rocker. Punch came from McIntosh. That was clever play by Didak. Kept it alive for the Magpies. Green caught. Jakovich forced to just kick it quickly. O'Brien. Buckley came back onto him. Wooden. They squeeze it forward through Colliker. Johnson. Judd spinning, out of trouble, gets it to Jakovich, enjoying a wonderful first quarter. Cox now with some space. Good running from Fletcher. He's utilised. Fletcher the short pass to Lynch. Wonderful transfer by the West Coast Eagles.
Yeah, in fact, just a great, I don't think a Collingwood player touched it, and Judd under enormous pressure. Tim Gossage just pointed him out on the record there. It was very good play. Good poise. He's had that since his very first game. And then Jakovich, of course, just having a bit of a purple patch. The importance was the disposal by all players, whether by hand or foot, hit the target. Must be finished off.
Lynch. Second attempt for goal for the quarter. That is a better one. That is a goal. And the Eagles have a handy break nearing quarter time. 24 points in front.
The important thing too, Tim, is that he becomes the 6th goal kicker out of their 7, so they really are sharing the load. Last week they started with Judd and Mirapunta kicking a couple each, but they shared it around beautifully. And we just saw there, before Jakovich got the ball, the point where Chris Judd just worked so very hard. Jakovich cleared nicely to Cox, and good hard running by Fletcher. That's what he needs to do to get a bit of the footy. And today he's had it 7 times so far in this first quarter. More importantly, he needed a good kick here.
So Lynch gets his first, a late replacement for that man, Troy Wilson. Classy sunglasses. Cox taps it down, but sharked by Buckley to half forward. Met hard by Collicker. Can Collingwood eke out a late goal? Fraser, Tarrant, no free kick. Nick Davis has already kicked one for the quarter. A very important little toe poke by Josh Wooden. Kicked it along the boundary line and made 15 metres for his team as Nick Davis is slow to get up. Right eye, blood coming. I think he's got a problem. It is. So he'll go off with the blood rule, Nick Davis.
Just the knee coming across.
Not just.
Fair knee. Unfortunate for Nick Davis. And once again, the Davises swap. Leon comes onto the ground. Last 3 goals to the West Coast Eagles late in this first term. Chance though for Collingwood. Davis. Didak, good use of the hands. Adkins has a go from just outside 50. Will need a very lucky bounce, or perhaps it'll favour O'Brien. He wants support. Look at the run by Davis. He started it. O'Brien over the top. Clever handball. Chance for Lacuria. Kicks it. Great goal just before quarter time to Collingwood.
Well, it was clever play, Matthew, because Atkins did the right thing, push it towards the top of the square, and they O'Brien just a bit too much pace and evasive skills for Braun. And watch the strength of Lacuria. Ben Cousins comes through and tries to take him out with the hip and shoulder. He was able to hold his feet sufficiently enough to actually then get the ball to boot. Fell over afterwards, but importantly, kicked the goal. So it's an important one against the flow.
It's been an 11-goal quarter. Paul Lacuria has a job on Ben Cousins. First quarter, Cousins, 7 disposals. Lacuria 5 of his own and a goal. Inside 30 seconds, first quarter, an 11-goal quarter and an entertaining one at that. Hope you're enjoying it. Burns, taken high. It was soft, but it was there. One last forward sortie for the Pies. It's been a long quarter. Clock ticks down. They need a mark. And they get a mark. Big fly. Lacuria again.
It's interesting. As soon as the free kick was paid in the middle of the ground, Tim, Lacuria took off. As the siren does go, Ben Cousins was caught out by about 5 metres. And then the kick then was set up very beautiful, just nicely on the top of Cousins' head, who did the right thing by taking front position. It's a terrific mark by Lacuria. Can he kick the distance?
He kicked one from 4 metres. He had no problems with that. This will test him. He'll kick from just outside 50. A good comeback from the Pies if he can slot it home. It's a lovely kick. Paul Lacuria splits the middle. Pies are back in the contest.
Yes, he certainly had no problems with the distance. Bangs through his second goal. So a great quarter here at Subiaco. It's the West Coast leading by 12 points. Collingwood coming back late. Second quarter underway. Here at Subiaco, umpire Coates bounces the ball. Gardner with another knock, but this time Buckley just in two minds. Then eventually gets a good clever kick because he got some distance on it, but good use of the body by Trent Carroll, and he takes the mark. Switches played quickly to the run of Chris Judd. Already in his 15 games of AFL football, a crowd favourite here at Subiaco. Sorry, that was Chad Fletcher. David Wirrapunda. Haynes the target. Gardner just falls over the line, and there'll be a throw in. Ryan Loney just taking a little bit of time to recompose himself. Scott Burns.
Yes, taking in the deep ones, Ryan Loney. Chris Judd backpedaling. Adkins has been busy. Too much on that kick. Damien Adkins hasn't played since round 13, 2001. That was his only game for the year. Collicker, centre wing right, kicks it to half forward. Sierakowski up. Spoiled by Cloak. Over the line and out of play at half forward. 8 points, 12 points to lead. Crowd building, 38,500. Breeze coming across the ground. Gardner, backhand. Fletcher's been busy. Looping hand pass. Phil Matera, well down the ground to Judd. Likes to take them on through traffic. Long kick. Lynch did well. Worked his way to the front, did all the hard yards, and didn't take the mark. Banfield caught underneath the pack. And dive in on top of him. Lynch did well. Got rid of his marksman, and then spilt what was a relatively easy mark.
Yeah, you're right, Timmy. He was the one that read the ball beautifully. Saw the opportunity. Got around in front of Wakelin. And then, you're right, expected some more contact, didn't come, spilt the mark. Got to keep your eye on the footy.
40 metres out, bit slippery underfoot, tap down. Cloak, oh, that hurt him. Cloak, it's hurt his knee, I think. That came across, yes, he's done his knee or ankle, might be the knee when he kicked that ball. And his ball's going to come straight back to him, and he'll mark. It came back from Gardner. This young fella's in a bad way.
Yes, it was Judd, I think, Tim, that came across. You're exactly right, and you've got no protection when someone does that to you. It's not intended to hurt you. You're trying to affect the spoil, and yeah, he's in a lot of pain.
Oh, that's a big blow.
Got to be a knee.
That's a big blow. Let's hope Subiaco hasn't claimed another one. This is not the turf on this occasion, mind you. This was just
coincidence.
Coincidence that it's at Subiaco. Here it is here.
I think it's Judd that comes across. Yes. Just catches him inside the right knee.
Surprised it doesn't happen more often, Ross.
Yeah, there's a lot of that goes on, but players, fortunately, that it doesn't. They don't get the injury. It might be a very bad corky, but you would think with the pain he's in, it's probably a knee.
The disappointing thing was that
you can't protect yourself from that.
Serious blow for Collingwood. I mean, he's been a wonderful player this year and been a chief player in defence. They've worked it to half forward. Buckley, it was a good kick. Lucuria. Great tackle in the end on Cousins, put him to ground. Collingwood have numbers. McKee took a long time, in fact took far too long, was pushed off by Kerr. Cousins, Carroll, not 15. Banfield called to play on, left centre wing, chips down, Haynes marks.
Haynes quickly to Gardner. West Coast mounting something here. He's got some space to 60, decides to launch it at goal, gets plenty of distance, wrong side of the post. First score of the second quarter as Jason Cloak, immediately there was contact, put his hand in the air, knew that he was in trouble straight away. Let's hope for Collingwood fans around the country that it's not too serious. Meanwhile, Ben Johnson has it. Going back, Sierakowski taking the mark.
Speaking of knee injuries,
yes,
he's had two.
Had his fair share. Wobbly old punt, but finds its target in Hunter. Hunter. Player went to ground. No free kick. Good decision. Dimatina switches. Davis. Out in front. Tarrant just got through him. Carroll to Cousins. He has Phil Matera up on the wing. He in turn has Hunter over the top, but he goes back to Fletcher. Beautifully read by Didak. Can the Magpies force the turnover? O'Brien wrapped up by Matera. A saving tackle
And again, the slippery surface there, Matthew, as we look again at Jason Cloak, just the doctor checking his knee for any movement.
Chance now for Kerr from the clearance. The shepherd comes from Cousins. Kerr, high ball, links to target. Wirapunda from the back. In front, though, was Batheris. He has Dimatina in support to McKee. Running hard for him, O'Brien. O'Brien spills it. Put himself under some unneeded pressure, but equal to the task. Does very well to find Damien Adkins on the wing. He's away quickly. Magpies into attack. Buckley the target. Banfield right with him. McIntosh came out and spoiled as Buckley went back. Now, that's some good news that at least we're getting some walking out of Jason Cloak.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to put the mocker on the young fella, but sometimes the more serious knee injuries, you don't feel as much pain as the less ones, but hopefully it's just a bit of cork hits there.
Yeah.
Players scurrying for this football. About 55 out from the Collingwood goal.
As we see, just another bit of contact here from Chris Judd coming across the front. Too many players losing their footing, so another check of stops at, or footwear at half-time would be important.
Very slippery underfoot. Comes out the back door. Banfield, scooping hand pass to Colaker. Hasn't missed a game since joining the West Coast Eagles. Kicks to right centre wing. Fickle bounce. It's sat up nicely for Batheris. Left foot kick, right foot kick, should I say, to left half forward, and Buckley takes the mark. I'm still confused. He'll have no problems with the distance. One of the best kicks of the game. One of the best players in the game. 13 points to margin. Kick number 7. Sat it up. Rocker. Tarrant will fly. Rocker. No mark. Tarkin Lockyer. Beset upon by 3 West Coast Eagles. Had no chance of getting rid of that. Again, not so sure whether Buckley was confident with the ground underneath his feet.
Yes, I mean, in fact, it was about 5 minutes short. And as Tim called, I thought Rocker may have taken the mark, which he should not have in that situation. So defensive work from West Coast was good enough.
Chance for the Magpies deep in their forward line, but a rush behind their first score of the quarter. So we've only had 1 behind apiece in this second quarter after 12 goals in the first. Just not the best kick from Nathan Buckley there. Almost the mark, though. Buckley's been surprisingly inaccurate on goal this season for someone with such great skill.
Great hands.
There's some great skill to Adkins. McIntosh. Wooden. Banfield. Spills it. Burns was looking for Adkins, but unfortunately the boundary first there with under 14 minutes remaining in this first half. But some good body language there anyway from Jason Cloak about his knee. Gardner over the top. Lockyer read it nicely. Ran into Wirapunda. West Coast have been inside their 50 18 times. Collingwood 15. Once again, Fraser couldn't quite get it. Adkins. Carroll steals it. Misses Jakovich. And he manages to just keep it in. Hugging the boundary. Loney and Haynes. Over the top came Burns. And we'll have another boundary throw in.
Yes, as Dean Lady said to Lockie Reid at quarter time that Collingwood just wanted to tighten up a bit, and they've just closed the game down a little more, just playing a little more one-on-one.
Both ruckmen forced underneath the footy now. Fletcher was taken high and should get a free kick and does.
Good duel between he and Burns. Fletcher's had it, this will be his 10th disposal. And Burns up for 7.
50 metres. It might have been for verbal. Palmer certainly raised the hand in Scott Burns' direction, which is normally an indication of enough is enough. He may not have given the ball back straight away either. Kick on the lead. Lynch. Cousins missed it. Well done, Johnson. Good shepherd. Opened the way for teammate Clement. Didak, left foot. Blind kick. And Trent Carroll's been good, been in the right position at the right time.
They switch it to the wing, the Eagles. McIntosh has done some running to provide that option. Back in board to Wooden. No goals in this second quarter as yet. Kerr trying to change that situation. Has Banfield. He looked to get back onto his left. He's got to get through some traffic. The little give back to Daniel Kerr. Backs himself. Runs a long way. Caught. And he gets a free kick.
So yeah, he just got the handball away, Matthew, didn't he? He was definitely going to be pinged for too far. But then the handball was clever. Almost overdid it. Just missed that there.
And I just saw Jason Cloak running up and down the boundary. So perhaps you're right, Ross, that it was a cork just above the knee. And he's now moving quite freely, so that's good news. Rapunda gets it on the lead. Beautiful pass. Finds his skipper in Ben Cousins.
It's got to come back. Hadn't set the mark.
So it comes back to Daniel Kerr. And we're underway. Very crowded forward 50 now, given the time delay. Kerr, one feels he'll set it to the square. Huge pack forming. Almost. Hunter. We have another rush behind.
We've played 11 minutes in the second quarter and we haven't had a goal kicked. We had 12 in the first quarter. Well done, Subiaco. That ball was intended for Didak. Got a hand in there nicely, the big fella. He tapped the ball over the line and we'll have a throw in.
Yes, it's all those little one-percenters that he builds his game around, Tim, and he's done it very well today so far.
Saw him play for Subiaco last week in WAFL against South Fremantle. Struggled down there. Struggled to get near the footy. Rewarded with a game here for perseverance. Buckley to Adkins. Adkins has been good. That's kick number 7. Out to Leon Davis. That's just his second kick. To half forward. Set Rocker a task. It wasn't a good kick at all. Carroll's been busy. Hand pass, not great. Set Hunter a task. Tackled strongly. Hunter disguised that. That really wasn't very good handball from Trent Carroll.
Big Dean Cox is back on the ground. Williams having a breather.
Scott Burns comes off and Heath Scotland comes on. Well read O'Brien. Spiral 50 metres towards 50. Josh Fraser, Jakovich, ball on the ground, knocks it back intelligently. Banfield's been good today. To Jakovich, out wide McIntosh. Now the Eagles are running. Cox has got 40 metres on his own. Will the ball sit? It should. Batheris is trying to cut down the angle. Cox looks up, just touched by Batheris. Did well. Hand pass inside. Too much on the hand pass from Haynes for Judd. Loney, hand pass back over the top. Came from O'Brien to Scotland. Adkins. Now Davis is out here on his own again. That's left half forward. He can go. He marks. Fraser leads. Another poor kick from Davis. Bounce for Fraser. It ricochets back. Eagles have numbers. Rocker has the footy. That's more important. Left foot kick around the corner. 25 out. Buckley gathers. Some brilliance needed from Buckley. Left foot snap. Snapped it too far.
And perhaps a handball to Tarkin Lockyer. It's a busy passage of play, Tim. There's a lot going on there, but perhaps the kick from Leon Davis, the second one again, as we see Nick Davis there with that right eye stitched up, missing the target again. It makes the game far more simple. If you hit your targets, players can go back and use the ball a little better. As I say, Buckley probably should have handballed to Lockyer there. 2
points apiece in this second quarter as Warapunda looks to the outer side and finds Cox quickly to Jakovich. Matera on a long lead. Haynes on a long lead and takes it. Up forward, goes through Kerr's hands. Clement. Wanted Didak. Chance now for Braun. Swings it back, clever kick. Beautiful kick. Matera, play on, good decision. He didn't mark it. Round the corner, he took it too easy. Does he get a lucky bounce? I think he has. He certainly has. At last we get the first goal of the quarter. The Eagles fans are happy. They're having their say, and you too can have your say. Monday to Friday on White Line Fever at 6:30. Email, fax, or just get on the phone and have your say about any issues in footy. And he made an error there, Ross, and got away with it.
Who did make the error? Phil Matera. Well, in fact, the error came initially from Ben Johnson. He sat too far off Matera, who's his opponent, but you're right. The error was able to be corrected, though, and it's a great bounce.
Dropped the simple mark, but did goal with a kind bounce, and Stephen McKee won't be entirely happy with that. Now, this is interesting. Buckley was the ruck contest. Was in the ruck contest for Collingwood. He got around in front of Cox. And the Pies will go forward. Collingwood grabbed it, threw it on the boot. O'Brien did well. Scooped the hand pass up. Scotland kicks smothered down by Kerr. He does a lot of hard work, Kerr. Looping hand pass. Wapunda intelligently didn't gather. Advantage, knocked it to his own advantage. Now Cox has run down the ground again. I think he's got some land out on that left centre wing because no one wants to go near him. Or he's a bit on the nose, one or the other. Anyway, Gardner. Dean Cox has found enormous space. And Michael Gardner has been told to get it on quickly. He can kick a long way, even though it's a little bit awkward. From 50 metres, kicks it long. Will Judd fly at the back? First go, grab. Touched. Lynch had first go at it. Look at the goal umpire. He was right there. Phil Matera was nearby as well. But in the end, it was through, and Phil Matera can't believe it was close. Judd flew. Lynch had a go. And eventually, it was over. Forced behind. Good decision. Good decision.
He's missed everything there, Matera knows how close he got.
He got a boot on it, 1 metre over the line.
8-5 to 5-4. The margin 19 points. It was 12 points at quarter time. Clement. Wakeland now. Tarrant the target. Finds him. First mark for Chris Tarrant. Just the 3 disposals. He wants Rocker. McIntosh right with him.
And Matthew, you just sense too with Tarrant having to find his kicks up the ground. Carroll's actually done a pretty good job on him, but he's not a good player below his knees. Tarrant, he needs to be inside 50. They're pushing Fraser back there and also Rocker, so trying to get Tarrant in the game. It's not his best spot.
Cox wins the knock. Eagles trying to push it forward. Kick off the ground came from Green. Haynes runs it over. Let's go to the boundary with Lockie Reid.
Yeah, Nick Davis just come on. His eye is stitched up and ready for action. And Jason Clark has his knee heavily bandaged. Still just thinking it's a cork. He looks like he's running nicely.
Good news for Collingwood fans. Buckley breaks from the clearance. Free kick. The umpire confusing the players there. Was backpedaling towards a Collingwood free. In the end, it is Cox with the ball. Chips it over to McIntosh. A couple of players running for him. Inside his forward 50, Lynch. Wakeland with the body. Brings the ball to ground. Somehow it falls for Sierakowski. Over the top to Philip Matera. He's got a couple of goals. Back towards the danger zone and taking the mark. In the goal square is Haynes. Disciplined kick from Matera.
It's a bit stiff there was Dimartina, just not enough height. If he had Tim Gossige's height, he would have marked that on his chest. Just cleared his hands. Look at that. I beg your pardon, it was Loney, not Dimartina. Loney just over the top. In fact, I think it caught Haynes by surprise a bit. Still, he took the mark, and it was a good centering kick by Matera.
So Haynes now kicks a mongrel punt, but kicks the goal. West Coast get their second of the quarter, and they get plenty of breathing space.
Yes, and it has been important, these last 2 goals. No doubt Phil Matera's lucky break. They all count. And in such a deadlock game in terms of the quarter that we played before Matera's goal, it's important that they follow up, and they've done that. Let's see whether Collingwood are good enough to get a reply.
Nathan Buckley, 12 disposals for Collingwood. Jakovich, 12. And 10 for Chad Fletcher for the Eagles. Had a good quarter, Nathan Buckley. But his team still trails by 25 points. There he is, kick smothered down by Wapunda. Ricocheted back to Lockyer. Slams it on the boot to right half forward. Leon Davis. Another fickle bounce. O'Brien heard the voice, came from Buckley. The champ, 60 metres out. Into the pocket. Rocker with courage. Coming back was Collingwood. Close to the boundary line, eventually over and out. I'll have a throw in near the Eagles' race. It's been tough going for Rocker and Tarrant, some of the disposal.
Yeah, they've set it up too much, and their forward 50's been too crowded.
Cox at the back. Leon Davis. Tackled by Wooden. Good tackle it was too. Now he's got a problem, Leon.
He made no real attempt to knock the ball out. He was playing with it in front of him, trying to get a free kick for holding a Guernsey, but Wooden did it very well.
Plays on. The running man is Collingwood. Short pass. Hunter.
A lot of helicopters, isn't there?
There's a lot of helicopters at Subi today. The kicks are shocking. They've been effective.
West Coast having more possession, 132 to 106 at the moment, as Hunter gets it to Haynes. There's another one. Somehow, though, it falls for Callum Chambers. Gardner the target. Strong mark by Michael Gardner. Something they were looking for last week in their local derby against Fremantle. 6th mark for Gardner, but a strong one inside their forward 50.
Yes, McKee won't like being back there, and of course Callum Chambers has only been on for about 3 or 4 minutes, immediately having an effective disposal. He's done that all year.
Lead by 25 points, the West Coast.
Tough kick for Gardner here, as Tim said before. He's an awkward style of kick, often gets reasonable distance. How's the accuracy?
Short on the near side for a behind. The West Coast doing the bulk of the attacking. Collingwood just 2 behinds for the quarter. 26-point lead to the home side. That's
Chris Judge. He's getting some manipulation on a left thigh, as was Chad Fletcher before.
26 points the lead. Biggest lead in the game. Wakeland, back pocket. Back to Buckley. Chip over the top to Ben Johnson. He's got Scotland in the middle. Decides to chip to a 50-50 contest down the ground. O'Brien Hunter. The Eagles have numbers around the footy. Casey Green, well done Buckley. Spills to Lynch. Big Quinton Lynch runs in, 35 out and misses near side.
Yes, he had Ben Cousins in front of him, Tim, maybe a handball on, but still he had the momentum, and he is a forward. You rely on him to kick those goals, as Surakoski's come off, replaced by Williams.
Yes, that was one that, as you can see, tearing his hair out. He knew he should have kicked that. Crowd alive here, though. Just under 39,000 as the Curia. 2-on-1 contest. We're a punter over the back. Well done by Fraser, though. Kept his eye on the footy. He's still got it going. He's got to beat 3. And he'd be happy because he's worked at 35 metres up the ground and kept Collingwood in the contest. Well done to Josh Fraser. We're a punter off. Fletcher on. Just under 5 minutes remaining. First half. Hunter over the top. Williams. Haynes and Loney. Haynes does well, keeps it in, but then gave it away. Clement. Forced to kick back. Buckley gets a good shepherd behind from O'Brien. Enables Buckley to mark on the chest. Possession number 16. Wanted Nick Davis. Collier. Has he disguised it enough? Yes.
Foot skills in general today haven't been so good, so those who've actually hit a target have looked a lot better. But someone like Buckley there falling short. Plenty of others have done the same. But no reason why, really.
Left half forward. Dean Cox had a very good year. Dimatina inside 50. Scotland and Braun. Well done, Braun. Very good footy. Never lost sight of the footy. Buckley's going to be on the end of it. Surakoski giving him some verbal from on the other side of the boundary line. Now Buckley off a step. It's very un-Nathan Buckley-like. His disposal today has been well down. He's had 17 disposals.
I think that fan was just counting them for him.
Dean Cox has had a very good second quarter. That's a shocking kick as well. Gardner pushed by McKee. Well done, Williams. Made good 40 or 50 metres to half forward. Well, Lucuria fell over a post to Cousins, but did very well. Hand pass back inside from Lockyer to Didak. Now Clement can go. Has a bounce and has some speed. Has 2 bounces inside 10 metres. No real need. A long kick. Rocker went left. McIntosh stayed where he was. He kicked it on his chest.
So once again a turnover as Jakovich hasn't been the best with his foot skills today either. Gets a long ball towards Gardner. Clement. Just got tackled before disposing. Now Davis. Drives it up again towards Rocker. McIntosh gets into his back. Free kick, Anthony Rocker. No one inside the 450. Tarrant streams back now. Rocker just wants to get hold of the footy. And the veterans of the West Coast just hold him up enough. Now Tarrant on the lead. Over his head. Out of bounds.
Josh Fraser just saying 15 out from the goal square. Kick it to me at the top of the square. I was open. That was the push from McIntosh.
Boundary throw in. Colliker there with Fletcher. Burns. Fraser. Fletcher over the top of him. 2.5 minutes remaining in the first half here at Subiaco. It's the West Coast in control by 27 points. They've managed 2 goals, 5 for the quarter. Collingwood's goal scoring has dried up. They've only managed 2 behinds. Colliker through the tackle to Hunter. Good first half from him. Gardner went without it. Attacked the footy ferociously but forgot to grab it. Loney looks up, sees Burns, didn't see Kerr. Better quarter from Daniel Kerr. Phil Matera trying to lose Johnson.
That's a good mark.
It's a great mark in the end. A little bit of a waggle and then took it. Another bad kick though, another helicopter. And this is marked by Scotland. We'll have to check the footy, Ross.
Oh, took the words out of my mouth, Matty. It is slippery underfoot, we'll give him that. Bit of breeze.
That's another ordinary kick.
But it might come off for Didak, who's normally a pretty good kick. If he can gather, he wants the left side. So he decides to go back on the right. Well, we can't get a judge from that because his kick was smothered. Chambers. Colliker, and that's almost holding the ball. Against Colliker and Chambers. Umpire Mark gets let that go for a long, long time as Ben Cousins.
First breather, yes. Judd's on to replace him, Tim, and Licuria will stay on the ground and pick Judd up.
A minute to go in the half. Collingwood could do with a goal or 2. Nick Davis, intelligent, threw it on the boot to half forward. Buckley had it, lost it, knocked down by Banfield. Leon Davis, was he legged? No, according to umpire Margetts. Comes back to Chad Fletcher. Hand pass to Williams. Started the game in a blaze of glory. Kicks to centre wing right. Ricocheted off Haynes. Johnson over. Right underneath the scoreboard, which reads West Coast 9-7, 61. Collingwood 5-4, 34. Collingwood have added just 2 points in this quarter.
Cox wins the knock. Kerr at ground level, wrapped up by Lockyer. Burns almost, and that is a good handball, but cutting it off was Haynes. It was intended for Clement. Umpire Margetts again letting it go.
No, it's a free kick.
Free kick for Collingwood now.
Coming out of the top was, I think it was
Haynes.
Was it Haynes? Thanks, Tim. Into Lockyer. No intent on the footy at all.
So just 16 seconds remaining. Time for Collingwood. Perhaps to get their first goal of the quarter. Now Lockyer. Long lead from Davis, just at his feet. A half volley is caught by Colliker. And it's a boundary throw in. The dismay on the face of Nick Davis. And some words of encouragement from his skipper. We're almost at half-time. Good, a much more defensive second quarter after 12 goals in the first quarter. Very attacking, free-flowing football. Braun beaten by the boundary.
That's been the contrast, hasn't it, Matthew? I mean, it depends what sort of footy you like. Do you like a plethora of goals, or do you prefer a hard, in and under, untidy type of game? And that's what we've had in this second quarter.
Right on half-time. Davis was breaking free. It was a promising movement for him, and perhaps for Chris Tarrant on the end of it. But at half-time here at Subiaco, the home side in control. 9-7, Collingwood 5-4. A good margin of 27 points to the West Coast Eagles. We'll take a break. One apiece. So third quarter underway here at Subiaco. It's been a great quarter for Collingwood so far this year. Can they continue that and get back in this match? Cousins with the first possession in a couple of minds. There's that battle between the men with the bandaged knees. Cloak and Sierakowski. Cloak just slinging Sierakowski to the ground. He'll take the free kick. There we see it. Never took possession of the ball. Towards a player on his own. And how did Williams get free there?
Because Clement took his eye off the footy, Matthew, was worrying about where Williams was, and then the ball, once it got within 10 metres, and he had no idea where Williams was, nor the footy. Watch this coming in. Clement's searching for the body of Williams, not keeping an eye on the footy, and in the end, Williams an easy mark, and he started this third like he started the first.
Yeah, he kicked the first 2 goals of the match, had 4 shots at goal. He's kicked 2 goals, 1 and 1 out in the full. So just the start that the home crowd was looking for. Williams to get the margin out to 33 points. Not good off the boot. Shane Wakelin has pointed to the post and the goal umpire agrees. He just shaved it on the way through. Poor kick.
Exactly.
There it is there. Collingwood try and work it out. Burns, good mark. And centre wing right. So 28 points the gap. Oh, Johnson marked. Did he go? Oh, gee, I thought he took 2 steps to play on. Haynes held him up. Johnson's kick, good. McKee, Loney. Now Cloak has run on. Hand passes back to Loney. He's a long raking kick, but he's running away from goal. Chip over the top to O'Brien. Hand pass back to Loney. Hand pass to Buckley. Left foot kick. It's another floater, but it's efficient. It is a goal, just what the Pies needed.
That's a good transference of play there by Collingwood, because they were under a little bit of pressure, but they managed to spot their players up through the middle of the ground, which was very important, and Cloak gave them some run. And then on the inside, we see Loney under good pressure from Matera, was able to chip it around the corner, not far enough, but he backed up, support again with the run of Buckley. That's a clever goal. Still a tumbler. It's still not a good-looking kick, but you can smile when it goes over the top of the goal umpire's head, and for 6 points.
Buckley's first goal of the afternoon wasn't pretty off the boot. It's just the start Collingwood are looking for. Williams missed at one end. The Pies get the first at the other. Here's Buckley once again. Adkins caught by Judd, but the handball was good enough to get it to Burns. Clement out in front of Steinfort. He keeps it in. Did well. They're still alive. Colliker never gave up on him. Holding the ball. He goes back as we see the tackle from Colliker. Carroll kicks it forward. Kerr. Fletcher still in play. Haynes. Open forward line. Matera approaches. Cloak dumps him. Lockyer. Good pressure though from the West Coast forwards. They've got a turnover coming. Kerr. Cloak. Fletcher now for the West Coast. Too many numbers though for Collingwood. Lockyer. Off one step, back towards Cousins and Lacuria. Good duel that. Colliker caught. Ball up.
Gee, it was good pressure by the Collingwood defence, because West Coast had players running free. They really did scramble very, very well there and got the clearing kick. Now got another stoppage in the middle of the ground. Well done.
Gardner. Collingwood had numbers behind the ball. Adkins, I've liked his game. This will be disposal 11. Runs a long, long way. Left foot kick into the pocket. Not a great kick, but no surprise there.
No, he's got some good leg speed, Tim, hasn't he? And given that it's only his second game back in senior ranks, it takes a while to adjust, but he looks as if he's a player who can actually cross the lines fairly quickly. 9
kicks, 2 handballs. He's brought the ball inside 55 times. O'Brien throws it on the boot, back to the top of the goal square, but Jakovich is there and marks, likes to play on, looks afield. Collingwood have numbers. Burns gets the kinder of the bounces. Hand pass back, Clement shields his eyes from the sun, steps around Kerr, kick on the boundary line, eventually over and out of play. The throw in at half forward right. Sunny day at Subi. The Eagles desperate to hold on to a spot in the 8. Collingwood eyeing off top 4, top 2. is even on the agenda. Jakovich's hand pass was errant. Buckley likewise. Colliker, strong tackle on him by Buckley. Liverpool up 60 metres out, ball going nowhere. 9-8-62 West Coast. Collingwood with the only goal of the third quarter. That to Nathan Buckley. Good crowd in, 39,000. 6-4-40 the Pies.
With the knock, Fletcher. Good pass to Sierakowski. Kerr didn't see Clark. Good tackle. Braun. Lockyer approaches. Just does enough to force the kick a bit wide, but Haynes is there for the Eagles. Open forward line. Haynes. Good kick. Spotted Matera. Wonderful vision.
That's the importance, Matthew, just hanging onto the footy long enough to give yourself a chance to, if you can't make the distance or you're just going to pump it into the top of the square, it's not that effective. So he looked very cleverly. Matera had made some space. More important, the kick found him.
Well, we saw at the start of the day that Matera had only kicked 2 goals in his last 3 games. Very rare for such a prolific goal scorer. But he's lining up now for his 3rd. His 29th for the year. Just inside 50. Looks pretty good off the boot. It's home. 3 goals to Phil Matera. First goal for the Eagles after half-time, courtesy of some wonderful vision from Haynes.
Yes, and out of his 10 touches, Phil Matera, those 3 goals have been very important, and the clean disposal here. We just watched the ball come off the boot very nicely, which has been unusual, particularly through the second quarter and the start of this third. That's an important reply because Collingwood had a bit of the momentum in the first part of this quarter. So Phil Matera just enjoying a bit more freedom today.
$28 points to margin.
Blood rule down here for Scott Burns.
Yes.
Tim, sorry to jump in there.
Coming off from right half forward. Coming from the knee and the ear. In fact, it's certainly coming from the ear. Scott Burns, 12 disposals, 4 marks. So play resumes. 28-point lead in favour of West Coast. They led by 27 at half-time. Secondary bounce, middle of Subi. That's where the blood came from. No slap, just an errant elbow. Cousins steps around a couple. On the lead, Lynch, mark, paid. Does tend to drop the head nearly, well, I'd say 95% of the time when he marks. Just doesn't grab the ball with authority for a big man, Ross.
Yep, no, and you're right in my face there, which is pleasing. There you go. I mean, he kept his head up a little bit. The eyes are slightly closed, and he always seems to expect the contact from behind. I mean, it's not going to hurt you, and he can't. If you, for a fellow that tall, if you've got your arms up, very few players are going to punch the ball away from him.
He's a big lad. He can kick a long ball. It's a stuttering approach. He's kicked over goalpost height and 10 rows back, but he's missed. We're disappointed with that, Quinton Lynch. He's had a couple of shots on goal now. 1 goal, 3 for the afternoon. West Coast lead by 29 points.
Ryan Loney brings it in for the Magpies to Johnson. Oh, gee, that's put Loney under pressure, but he's equal to the task. Batheris back to Johnson, and they're away. Good running. Scotland. Adkins. Promising movement. Davis. Leon Davis with a great stretch. Still going now. Lockyer. Up towards Rocker, and he's got it inside 50. Exactly what they were looking for.
It's only his 2nd mark too, Matthew. That's the important thing from West Coast point of view. They've been able to restrict his marking capacity. Pressure from the midfield responsible there, but it's an important goal. If he can, he'll certainly make the distance comfortably, you would think. But he does need to kick it. These limited opportunities have come he and Tarrant and Fraser's way. They need to make sure they capitalise as often as they possibly can.
Very good movement by Collingwood from the behind.
There's
kick in, they read it hard.
Inside 50 marks, 12-4 in favour of West Coast.
So Rocco, 27-22 for the season. has hooked it. It comes back a little bit for him late. Unfortunately, for a fairly strong contingent of Magpie fans here at Subiaco, just to behind. And good to see Leon Davis getting involved. He's a man that can really spark this side.
They certainly have a following in the West. Judd in best position. Gardner over the top takes a good mark. 7th mark. He's averaging 7 marks this year. Down the line to Haynes. Been a good play today. That's his 6th mark, and this will be disposal 11. Kicks to centre half forward and camped on his own is Kerr. Marks, looks to his right, decides to kick onto the lead. Here is Lynch. Would spoil Wakeland. Phil Matera keeps it in Wood Hunter's pocket. It was out.
Yep.
The boundary umpire called it out. Crowd not happy, even though he's 220 metres away from the action. Booing boundary umpire Jamie Giles. Surakovsky grabs it out of the air. Strong stuff. Tackled strong by Cloak. And Kerr will have a ball up. Danger zone. 25 out from West Coast goal. Ticking down, 12 minutes remaining. Cloak up. One down by Surakovsky. Buckley met solidly and front on.
I would have thought it was high initially too, Tim. The umpire not in the right position.
28 points to lead. West Coast lead.
Another ball up inside the forward 50. Let's take a look at that tackle. Good call, Ross. Arm was slipped up over the shoulder. Lacuria, Lonzo Bree. Kept it in, not for long. 12 goals in the opening quarter. We've only had 4 since then. And as you can see, the conditions for scoring are ideal. McKee out of the ruck. Loney back to Buckley. Strong handball. Here's Lacuria. Up the line towards Rocker. Right within McIntosh, and it's out of bounds once again. 11 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Margin 28 points, 27 at half time. Lockyer, not 15. Fletcher to McIntosh. Solid once again. Haynes was the target, presents himself nicely. Johnson underneath all of that.
Crowd wanting interference or a mark, Matthew. I think the umpire made the right decision there. Wasn't unfair contact. Haynes a lot of courage to go back. Cloak was the one that came from behind. He's moving very well, which is great news.
This is McKee now. Now, Collingwood free kick.
It's against Kerr, I think.
It was high. It's Lacuria going to take the free kick. And from his point of view, this will be possession number 12. And he's been on Ben Cousins, who's had 11, and that was definitely there, that one. So once again, Paul Lacuria, the best and fairest Copeland Trophy winner, doing a good job. Tarrant now. Long ball. Rocker sets himself, gets up early, stayed up, couldn't take the mark though. Jakovich, fine first half from the veteran, 14 possessions. Kerr, dangerous. Braun, bad handball. Now Collingwood on the turnover. Scotland, look away, handball is good. Adkins spins out of trouble, but then put O'Brien into it. Ball up just outside the forward 50 for the Magpies. Plenty going on off the ball between Haynes and Batheris. Great leap by Rocker, and just the handball from O'Brien couldn't quite, or to O'Brien, couldn't see Carroll on the other side. Flipped out the back though. Kerr, Jakovich again. Gets plenty of depth to the kick. 2-on-1 though. Cloak the punch, disciplined. Fletcher did well in the end. He's got to beat 5. Couldn't, because here comes number 6 in Buckley. Still the boost from the crowd, unwarranted. Steinford on hands and knees. They haven't given up on it, the Magpies. Scotland, Loney, Kerr bumps Johnson, and the ball out of bounds.
Tough stuff in close. Right, hemmed up on the boundary line. Good. Hip and shoulder by Daniel Kerr. Steinford off the ground. Gardner wins it down. Braun, hand pass to Wapunda. Again, handball received. Kick wide, out of bounds on the full.
Dean Cox with the ball. He's just come on to replace Williams. Whereupon should have hit his target there. Cox was away.
Collingwood have just kicked 1 goal in the last 42 minutes of play. Scotland. Fraser reaches up too far out to score. 65 metres out from goal.
Oh, it's a late call.
3-on-1. Tarrant outnumbered. Make it 4-on-1. And they work it out, the Eagles. Fletcher, Kerr, Cousins, 3 class midfielders. Kicks to half forward. Lynch is a long way down. Wakeland does well. Cloakes arrive to give Wakeland some support. Wakeland was just happy to get it to the boundary line. He finds it. Want to throw in a right half forward for West Coast.
And the body language between Fraser and Tarrant not good. Tarrant's, I mean, he was on earlier than what Fraser gave it to him. He looked at him, Fraser, but didn't kick it. Then when he finally did, it was 3-on-1, no chance.
Cousins received from Sierakowski. Steps around. Good vision. Kerr's found space from Weirpunder's pocket. Runs in Daniel Kerr and doesn't cap it off. Like number 44. Boundary umpire goes down. Acrobatic stuff. Cloak does well. Hand passes around. Neto pokes it over.
This is the Fraser mark. Then Tarrant's on the inside now. Buckley points at him, but Fraser says no, no, no. Now he does after Buckley yells at him. It's too late. 3-on-1.
Ball in inside the West Coast forward 50. Still 28 points is the margin. Scotland wrapped up. West Coast just happy at the moment, Ross, just to slow the game down and keep it tight.
Yeah, I mean, you've got control of the game, so it doesn't matter what standard it is. They're not concerned about it. They just want to win the game. There's another blood rule. McKee's coming off. So you're right, Matthew, that the quality of the game is well below first quarter, but they'll be happy to just control the game and control their lead.
McKee comes off as Haynes and Hunter also changed for the West Coast. Just some blood down on the leg. Doesn't look like a lot. But he's an important player to Collingwood. Fraser's now had to move out of the forward line to go into the ruck, as Gardner's been very, very good in that department. 5 hit-outs already in the quarter, 21 for the game, bit of push and shove, and we're back in play. Under 8 minutes remaining. Not for long, anyway.
Free kick, Lucuria.
No, against him. Holding jumpers there against Cousins.
So Ben Cousins.
He's only got one. It's a jumper, not jumpers.
Just starting to get a few possessions in the last 4 or 5 minutes. Short pass. It's a good one. Sierakowski should have taken it. Buckley launches into a huge drop punt. Tarrant with pace. Jakovich did enough to bring it to ground. Scotland does well to get through some traffic and open up Clement. Just not hitting the body of the Magpies. Missed the target once again. Clever tap back though by Rocker. Adkins. Just short though, but they've still got it going. Didak. Player on the lead now, Davis. Getting there, Carroll. It's been good. Coming into the side, Trent Carroll. Another ball up. Drew Banfield. There's a spell. Rocker. The tap was just to the advantage of McIntosh, who has the luxury of just slowing down. Kicks another terrible kick. Lucuria caught by his opponent in Cousins, but here's Rupert Patheris. Usually sets something up. Kicks to the pack. Down at ground level. Collingwood with a chance through the back door. Braun. Well tackled by Leon Davis. Fletcher goes backwards. And all of a sudden they're out of trouble once again. West Coast break to the wing.
Hunter marks and goes. Kicks to half forward. Sierakowski swallows this one. Mark number 4. And a bit of the football. This will be disposal 11. We'll get better with every run. Again, an end over end punt. You cannot believe. Free kick. He's going to go to curve for a hold, but
you can't practice that. I mean, you wouldn't credit in one game that so many tumblers and helicopters. Just
we're going to need some sort of aviation clearance soon about all these helicopters.
Anyway, Kerr did the right thing there, Tim, and Matthew got in front position, pushed back on Di Martino, and just drew the free kick there.
Free kick count certainly favours the home team. Daniel Kerr for his first goal for the afternoon, and he really just fits in nicely. He's missed everything. Can you believe that? "21 minutes gone, third quarter. 69 plays 41. It's a good kick from Lockyer to Batheris. Too much on it for Fraser. Some support arrives. The ball up centre wing.
Once again, Cox just gave that away. Scotland, good kick, keeps it in play. Tarrant right with him, Jakovich. 19 possessions for Glen Jakovich, as the former captain and coach look on from their respective boxes. Chance for Collingwood here. They're inside their forward 50. Didak, the ground level, but it comes back out to Rocker. The handball is in hope for Scotland, where a punter gets the benefit of the doubt. Just over 5 minutes remaining as Chris Judd goes to the bench. Pretty quiet afternoon for Chris Judd, just the 5 possessions. Rocker lays it down. Didak, Tarrant on his wrong side, gets onto his right one and just hooks it a bit too much.
He wanted his, sorry Matthew, he wanted his left boot so much. He did the right thing in the end, got himself some clearance, and then just had an awkward kick. Could very well have straight with one step and used to drop punt effectively.
Wooden brings it into Cox. Fletcher, good running from Wooden, steps around. Nick Davis, Sirakoski reaches up, well done, Cloak, read it better, and took the mark, just backward of left centre wing. The Pies kicked 5 goals, 2 in the first quarter, have added 1 goal 4 since. Wakeland's kick to Scotland, been better this quarter, Heath Scotland, this will be disposal 13. Tarrant has come a long way down to get the ball, hand pass, I don't think Wakeland was ready for it. Buckley, another kick smothered down, off his boot by Green. McIntosh to Kerr. Holding. He's in a holding pattern. Looping hand pass. 35 metres was brilliant. Cousins didn't have to change stride. Hand passes inside 50. Callum Chambers kicks a few goals every week. And this is another one. Off the left boot. They did it the home way.
Well, it was a fair handball by Daniel Kerr, wasn't it?
Yeah, good call by Tim too, Matthew, there. I mean, it was a sensational handball. Look at this, just a searching one. Try to break it open, and then Cousins here. And Chambers has only just come on the ground once again. He's a freak this year, the way he's come on and had an impact. And that's not such an easy kick, but he's a very proficient player.
Just the 3rd goal for the quarter. West Coast. Margin, 33 points, the biggest one of the day. Over the top came Fraser. Very good knock to Buckley. He wanted Scotland. Didn't quite have possession when he was held by Fletcher. Ball still alive though. Fraser. Buckley, possession number 24. Tumbles inside the forward 50. Spoil falls towards Green. Di Martino working hard. Gets up, keeps going. The whistle is gone though. Just over under 3.5 minutes remaining.
That's right, I thought Phil Matera done an angle. He's just gone down with cramp, Matthew. The physio and head trainer out there to see him at the moment.
Rocker back to Lacuria. Forward towards Davis. Numbers though for West Coast. Jakovich once again That kick is a very good one to Chambers. Matera coming off. Chambers has got a player on the wing.
He doesn't want
He's
to come
loose.
off. He doesn't want to come off.
Matera's just bolted out of the trainer's hands. He sniffed the goal out. Going up forward. Hunter, Matera, where is he? Doesn't matter. Hunter's kicked it out in the full. Now Matera's going to bolt back, is he?
Yeah, the runner's coming out again. David Hart, the West Coast runner's coming out. Say, Philip, you're off.
Oh, he can sniff a goal out, can't he?
Andrew Williams was standing 3 metres to his right outside the boundary. He could have got down there just as quick. Loney marks. All before the Pies now. Trail by 33. Casey Green tackled strongly by Buckley. Well, Dean Laidley said it's not exactly a quarter time when he's speaking to Lockie Reed. It's not exactly what they wanted. Was a shootout. It certainly hasn't been that.
No. They've held it up, but they just haven't been able to score themselves.
Braun runs the ball over. Jakovich, 20 disposals. There's Phil Matera. He's trying to keep as far away as possible from the interchange area. Buckley's got 25 disposals for the Pies. And Ben Cousins has kept it in. Just hand pass to Wapunda. Here is Jakovich. Used the ball pretty well. Wooden. Gone. Problem. Jakovich back in support. Gives it off to Cousins. The Eagles again go forward. Subiaco forced underneath it by Cloak. Hunter. They all ran away from him. He looked up, saw a lead into the pocket. It came from Gardner. Well done, Clement. Knocked the ball away to O'Brien. 90 seconds remaining. Subiaco back. Good courage. Good mark. Plays on with a handball to Braun from 55 metres out. Braun to the goal square. Phil Matera's at the back of the pack. Gardner's at the front and snaps a goal.
Well, Phil Matera, you're right, Tim. It sat right at the back for him. They worked it very well, West Coast, again down that outer side. Subiaco, great mark. Wanted the football, got back clean. Then kept the ball moving. Watch this, you'll see Philip Matera at the back of the pack. It hits his hands, sits beautifully. No, and then Gardner very quick did what Matera normally does, gets the crumbs.
.39 points now the margin with just over a minute remaining. They've won every quarter so far, the West Coast. That was Gardner's first for the afternoon. Burns. Lacuria got it back somehow to Lockyer. Here's Jakovich. He is in supreme control at centre-half back at the moment. And that is a very good kick to Wapunda. Chambers running. Subiaco again presents well. Having an influence now to the head of the square. Hunter at the back. There it is.
Well, he really shouldn't have got it, Matthew, because, I mean, you're right, he was at the back, third in line, but at the front, there was no doubt that Lynch looked to be the one who had to sit, but misread completely. Wakeland couldn't get a hand on it, and he just put his arms up and said, thank you very much.
Kicked 4 goals for the season. This, for the 4th for the quarter for the West Coast. It's going to make it very difficult indeed for Collingwood. He's got it. .45 points the margin. Hope you're enjoying this game live and uninterrupted on the Fox Footy channel. Certainly West Coast fans are enjoying. They're right on top now at the moment, Ross, and Collingwood has sort of died right off.
Yeah, whenever Collingwood have challenged, Matthew, there's no doubt that West Coast have found something, been able to either kick the goal back or wrest the ascendancy from the flow of the game. And they've had 9 goal kickers out of their 13, and we said that earlier, out of their first 6, and it's really been a good spread. It's been important they've been able to share that workload.
They're a different side.
In fact, it's 10, I beg your pardon.
At Subiaco Oval. Against visiting teams. Buckley out of the middle of the ground. Left foot kick. Carroll's been good.
He has, actually.
Mark taken. And the Eagles are in complete control. They lead by 45 points at three-quarter time.
Yes, goals hard to come by for the Magpies. And it's a very confident West Coast side, led by that man, Glen Jakovich. At three-quarter time, 13-9-6-6. The margin is 45 points to the Eagles. 45 points the margin, three-quarter time. Last quarter underway. Umpire Marg gets bounce. Up goes Rocker. Buckley. Fletcher. Well done. Out in front of Matera. Hooks it back. Out of the back was Wirrapunda, but it falls now to Jason Cloke, who is moving quite freely. Goes for the spiral kick towards the boundary to relieve the pressure and is successful in his attempt. Margin was 12 points at quarter time, 27 at half time, and out to 45 at three-quarter time. Cox and Rocker to do battle in the ruck. Balls back to Licuria. Adkins. Scotland ran past, but Adkins decides to switch back. Poor kick, just inside the boundary.
One positive for Collingwood, Ross. Adkins, first game since midway through last year, just his second game in almost 2 years, and Subiaco for West Coast.
Yeah, definitely. No, Atkins will certainly be good. I mean, he needs to add to their midfield run. He's done that today.
Banfield just shoved it back to Cousins. Slipped over. It's been commonplace. Got a problem now. He wanted to take on O'Brien. Play on. Scotland. Here is Adkins. Has to be quick. Left foot kick. Nice one off the boot. And Trent Carroll has played a very good game today. Just his second for the year. Wooden got it from Cox. Subiaco up, no mark.
But just as importantly there, maybe he missed the mark. The contest was so very important, and the target to kick to has been impressive today, Subiaco.
Another big crowd in at Subiaco Oval. It helps when the teams are winning. But there was plenty of support for Collingwood as well. Kerr taken high. No free kicks. Scotland down the line to Burns. Did well. Good gather. Good hand pass for Curia. Loops it over the top. Big Josh Fraser. Was a big 360. Turns around. Buckley's run inside 50. Gathers. Kerr tackles. One of the best tacklers in the business, young Daniel Kerr. Ball loose. Wooden. Errant little kick to centre half back. Adkins, it spewed off his boot. Didn't travel the required distance. Colliker chip around the corner. Wirrapunda, who's been a solid contributor as well, has taken the mark.
Fletcher runs for him to the wing, creating space. Leading player, Subiaco again presenting. As Ross just mentioned, perhaps not as clean as he'd like, but a target nonetheless.
And that's what you need. It just straightens you up a bit, saves you going around the flanks and through the boundary. If you can kick through the middle of the ground, through the corridor to a target at centre half, it makes such a difference.
87 plays 42. No change to the three-quarter time score. Didak there for Collingwood. Right with him, Colliker. Banfield gave it up. O'Brien. Banfield went again, though. Does well. Great second effort from Drew Banfield. Michael Braun over the top of Haynes. Licuria back towards Rocker. Wirrapunda can't keep it in.
And again, a poor disposal. Banfield, sensational hard work, gets the ball free to a teammate, then the disposal up the ground. It doesn't hit its target. You've got an untidy finish. Another stoppage.
Rocker and Subiaco. Rocker wins it. And there's a group hug. They all go to ground. At the bottom of that hug is Shane O'Brien.
It's a Braun sandwich.
14 possessions for O'Brien this afternoon. Judd still on the bench, but looks pretty relaxed. His side well in control. Kerr. Cousins. To the head of the square. Cloke with the punch. Chance now for the Magpies. Johnson gets a kind bounce. Back in board. Clement. Adkins breaks for him. Steps around Matera. Looks up ahead. Oh, good confidence by Adkins. Did enough to get it to Clement. Scotland. Good control. Clement ran on for the 1-2. Low ball, poor kick. McIntosh stands and waits and clears for the Eagles to the outer side to Michael Braun.
Some good midfield movement by the Pies, not finished off James Clement. Usually his kicking and accuracy with his kicks is his strength. That was not one of his better ones. And Colica, who was speaking to the physio just moments ago, waved him away. Doesn't look to be too troubled. And Cox has the ball just backward of left centre wing. Slow motion stuff. 45 points to margin in favour of West Coast. Again, the lead, the strong lead, was from Sirakoski. And Rocker doing some defending. Sees the ball over the line. Sirakoski, beautiful tap to Braun. That's a throw. It was taken by one arm. Umpires paid advantage to Buckley. Inside 50. Again, 2-on-1. You heard it from Ross Glendinning. McIntosh almost threw that ball up. They've just got time. Jakovich has been clean. Wooden's been good. And Fletcher has joined it all together in the midfield. Disposal 21. Kick not great, but Cox with courage. Chambers.
Free kick.
Umpire was going to pay advantage. Took it back. Free kick to Cox.
Tim, the body language on people like Chris Tarrant's not good. And he just knows. It's hard to say for me, but it looks as if he's just conceded as we see Judd come on and Kerr comes off for a well-earned rest.
As Cox drives it forward. Collingwood with the numbers, 3-on-1, and Jason Cloak drops in and takes the mark. To Buckley, who continues to rack up possessions. 30 now for Buckley, 22 kicks, 8 handballs. Didak on the wing takes the mark. He's been closed down today. Tarrant, long lead, and good kick from Didak. Led about 50 metres there, Tarrant, all the way from the goal square. Now, sets it up high, wants Fraser. Going back, Cox, 2-on-1. McIntosh was right with him. That handball's given up. Chance now for Davis. Davis straightens up. Doesn't for a while. Gets back at his left, but who cares? He's kicked the goal. So at last, Nick Davis gets the first goal of the last quarter and gets his second. Kick one in the first. And just an errant handball, Ross.
That's all it was, but the body language on the Collingwood players is not good. I mentioned Tarrant before, and I didn't mean to pick him out particularly, but it's just that he was in front of us when he displayed that disconsolate look. And even after Davis kicks the goal, there's no real demonstrative assist for him, no sort of acknowledgement of the goal. Not a good sign.
Tough afternoon for the Pies. They get their 7th goal, just the 2nd since quarter time. Lucuria, he kicked 2 goals in the space of a minute just before quarter time. They've got Collingwood back in the game. Now Buckley has worked it out of the middle of the ground. He got some run from Adkins. I'm happy for the boy. Kicks it long towards the goal square. Davis, Leon, hand on the shoulder. Well done, Wooden, pushed the ball through. Better from Collingwood. 7-7-49. West Coast 13-9-87. We've gone 8 minutes in front of almost 39,000 at Subi. Lockie Reed, boundary side.
Tim, it's very sunny out there in the middle of the ground, so nice and warm for the players playing. But down here on the boundary, it is very, or down here near the dugout, it's very, very cold, and a lot of the players running up and down with blankets on when they're sitting down and also getting rub downs.
West Coast bring it back straight up the ground. Good kick from Josh Wooden, found Phil Matera, who's away. Streams through the middle of the ground, kick out in front, going back with great courage again, Jason Cloak. Loney now, and the shepherd was good. Very good. In the end, the kick was good enough to find Rocker. Running for him, Clement. Long kick. Didak probably should have marked that. Tarrant was leading behind him. Perhaps a breakdown in communication.
Yes.
The ball had travelled pretty well.
No, I was just admiring Cloak again. He just, in the shepherd he put on Mirapunda, they just acknowledged each other, but great courage from that fellow in front there, Cloak. Not only come back on the ground after that knee problem, but to do that constantly.
Yes.
Nice to see.
Great courage. And good news for Collingwood fans that there is no problem with that knee. And he is doing what he does best, dropping into the hole and cutting off forward movements.
Yeah. And I agree with Tim, the fellow on screen there, Atkins. It's been good to see him come back and get a bit of the footy. He's had it, what's he had it, 19 times, so he's worked pretty hard.
Likewise, Jakovich. Braun. And there'll be a free kick for a push. Glen Jakovich will take it.
Tailor-made for someone like Glen Jakovich today, the way the ball's come in. He's been able to read it off the boot so well.
They've turned it over, though. Tarrant gives it to Burns. Scotland. O'Brien back to Scotland. Running for him, Didak is a goal kicker. He's on his wrong side. Not bad, but just to the wrong side of the post. 13-9 to 7-8. Margin 37 points.
So the Pies have added 1 goal too. The Eagles haven't budged off three-quarter time. And that man there, Glen Jakovich, close to best on ground. Another big mark. Gets it on to Carroll. He's enjoyed his run in the AFL. It's his second game for the year. Gardner. Chambers kicked a goal in the third quarter. Looks afield, has a bounce. Runs on 50, runs a long way. Good chase by Adkins. Kicks to the front of the square. Crooked bounce for Wakeland. Phil Matera scoops it up, gets it around. Hunter snaps the goal. And the nail goes in the coffin.
Second goal to Adam Hunter. And from his point of view and the West Coast point of view, it's good news. And you can catch the news with myself and Jason Bennett. 7:30 Monday to Friday on the Fox Footy channel. And we have all the news from the West.
Yes, and again, West Coast will be able to carry the ball from the other end of the ground from the kick out around the outer side very cleanly. And a favourable bounce there for Phil Matera, but a good centering kick by Chambers anyway in the first place. Banfield off for a rest.
2 goals to Adam Hunter this afternoon. And the margin back to 43 points. Rocker flipped it out the back. Free kick is going to Cousins and he's away, doesn't waste any time. Ashley McIntosh just standing on his own. That is a poor handball from McIntosh. But such as the numbers for the West Coast, they're able to keep the ball moving forward. Braun over the back. Matera.
They're queuing up for stats now.
Well, he almost sniffed out a goal a minute ago, went to ground and was forced to handball when he was thinking about trying to get onto that right ball.
I reckon he was hoping he could actually get up and have a snap.
McIntosh comes off. Matera runs to the left, wobbles the kick to the goal square. Spoil came. West Coast still with numbers, not with presence of mind. Sierakowski goes to the ground. Umpire Margette says we'll have a ball up. Not the best attempt on goal by Philip Matera, but he'll be happy to return to the goal-kicking list this weekend. He has 3.
And 15 touches, so he's had a bit of the footy, taken 6 marks. So with their tough run home, it's important that players like Matera find a bit of form.
Cloak. Adkins. Looping hand pass to Buckley. Disposal 32. Hasn't been his cleanest day. And there's another example. The Eagles have numbers around the footy. Looping hand pass from Braun to Hunter. That's a great tackle and almost holding the ball. Green. Judd. Wapunda. Gardner's run to half forward. Wapunda's in the middle of Subiaco. That's what's before him. A lot of players have got back. Sierakowski marks off 2 steps. Long kick to the goal square. They need a mark. Rocker back. Strong on the defensive goal line. Scotland should mark and go. 10.5 minutes to go. The Eagles lead by 43 points. And again, Collingwood's horror run at Subiaco continues. Johnson has it. Mercuria run very hard to make that contest. Johnson inside, Scotland. The linking play, this is good run from Ben Johnson. Left foot, back, floating back. Carroll punched away from Davis. Davis snaps it out of the air, he's missed the line.
Actually had a bit more time than he thought if he had have just been able to steady. I know it's a tough call from the ground, but up here you can see that he took clean possession, did the right thing, but then just hurried the disposal. Good ball carrying though by Collingwood from the half-back line as Wirapunda comes off for a breather, replaced by Kerr.
Subiaco Oval continues, as I mentioned, to be a tough place for Collingwood. Their last 3 losses at the ground, 50, 53 and 60. And currently they're trailing by 43 points.
Chambers brings it through the middle. He wanted Gardner, goes over the back. Steinfurt and Kerr. Kerr. looking for Braun. Clever play. Except for the handball. Wooden. Got to beat 2, he won't. Leon Davis applied the tackle together with Carl Steinfort. And we'll have a ball up.
It's been very pleasing you both of you been able to get all your stats out today.
Thanks, Ross. I'm glad you're pleased. Troy Wilson looking on.
We've used our quota of Troy.
He's happy. Ross Glendinning's happy. Cousins. Good switch. Lovely kick. And as good as you'll get off the left boot with Chambers. Adkins runs off the mark. Buckley runs in. Good play by the captain. As Chambers looks up ahead. Wants Gardner. Ball at ground level. Cloak doing well in this last quarter. And as is his wont, he finds the boundary once again. Braun takes a spell. About 75 metres around from the West Coast goal. Gardner. Judd. Chip pass over the top. On the top of Williams. Haven't sighted him lately. A couple of West Coast players with their hands in their head. Meanwhile, Collingwood move it out through Clement. Williams. And good pressure by the West Coast forwards to keep it near their forward 50. Let's take a look.
Ooh. Glancing blow Subiaco got from Cloak.
And he finished up with Williams as well. Brocker takes it out of the air, goes back to Adkins. Plenty of space to run into. Kick out in front of Tarrant. In the end, a very poor one. He had plenty of time.
There's a bit going on off the ball. Licuri and Kerr.
Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
Umpire Mark Getz just saying I didn't see much.
Licuri taken to ground behind play. There is Licuri at the tagger. He runs to his man, Cousins. But Gardner, dominant in the ruck contest, along with Cox, Wooden, Kerr, Williams marks. Good mark too, contested mark. And the contested mark situation, it's 15-4 in favour of West Coast. Good vision. Green. At the back, Lynch. At the front, Phil Matera, and the little man took the mark.
That's very much been the difference today, is the ability of West Coast to use the football better in a day when it's been a bit untidy overall. Bit of a scrappy game, particularly after quarter time, but they've just been more efficient going inside their 50, 47 times to 42. So Collingwood have had their chances, but there's been no system to their play, particularly through the middle of the ground. So their bigger forwards have had very few opportunities to actually lead and accept some decent passes.
Phil Matera. He's kicked 3. The lean couple of weeks. This is more like what he wants. Goal, 4 goals to Phil Matera. March it out to 49 points.
But I think the pleasing thing too from the West Coast point of view, their match committee, John Worsfold, would just be very pleased with the workmanlike way they played their game today. And Phil Matera, as we see Buckley coming off, he won't mind if you boo him every time he gets the ball. He's had it 32 times. He's worked enormously hard today. He's had 3 or 4 different opponents. But more importantly, it's been a real workmanlike work by West Coast today.
Michael Malthouse looking on as Nathan Buckley, his skipper, 23 kicks, 9 handballs, 6 marks. Takes a spell. 49-point margin though. West Coast continue to go forward. Williams out in front of Subiaco. There's that ball magnet Buckley. Even when he's off, they try to kick it to him. Just the round 17 hoodoo continues, Tim Gossage.
They've played 4 times, these two teams, Ross. I mentioned in the opener, they've played 4 times. And the Eagles have won all 4 round 17 clashes between these two teams. 81, 50, 21, and so far 49.
Judd, 2 players to kick to. Good vision. Casey Green marks in front of Gardner.
And this is a situation, I know you want to throw out another stat, but I just want to jump in and cut you off. But when teams want to really try and hold up this time of the year, you don't want percentage against you. West Coast are trying to push that. And again, just some lax marking there by Collingwood. All their heads are down, hands on hips. And quite rightly, Jason Cloak says, where's the help? I can't cover everyone.
Yes, percentage is important given that there's so many teams on 9 wins and 7 losses at the moment.
Well, thanks for your support.
As Ben Cousins takes a spell, 9 marks to Gardner.
Surely I can find something else to amuse Ross with.
Tim Gossage goes to the books.
That is the important thing, really, very much so, that when it's so close, you need the percentage as often as you can get it.
Gardner kicked the goal in the 3rd quarter, has kicked his 2nd. And it's a terrific performance by the West Coast Eagles. And those players are sitting down having a rest. They could be sitting on a couch. And on the couch on Monday night, Mark Buckley will be the guest with Jared Healy, Mike Sheehan and Robert Walls. And percentage-wise, gee, all of a sudden it's 55 points.
That is the best show on television on the couch. The best show by a long way on footy. $55 points to margin. The chant goes around Subiaco Oval. They lost the derby. They're going to win the battle with Mick Malthouse. Some consolation, but they get the 4 points. Now Chambers loves kicking a couple of goals each game. Near side miss. He's kicked 2 goals or more 6 times this year. He's already kicked 1 this afternoon. Troubled by a hand injury during the week and was under a bit of a fitness cloud, the one with the glove on.
As you know, he's been a very good impact player this year. There's no doubt about that. He's been used very, very well. And more importantly, he's been able to respond. It's a difficult task to come off the bench and have an impact in 12 or 14 or 15 minutes per quarter. Even less than that. He's done it beautifully.
16-10 to 7-8. Long kick, huge kick. Enormous kick, but unfortunately, it's out on the full.
He's kicked it on the full. 70 metres.
All together now.
Where were you, Ross?
Gardner to Fletcher. Oh, good lead, strong lead. And the ability of Haynes, he does lead hard and fast from a long way, doesn't he?
And he didn't deviate, you're quite right. There was going to be contact from 2 Collingwood players in front of him, but never deviated at all. And his head stayed very still, eyes firmly planted on the footy.
Haynes lining up for his 2nd goal. And we've still got 5 minutes remaining in this last term. And West Coast really are coming hard towards the end of this game, looking for... Oh, there's another one of those helicopters. And it's a behind.
It's inexplicable. There's no reason why in one game of footy you've had so many... It's like sitting on an aircraft carrier, the number of choppers have been going around here.
57 points to margin. Just Loney. He's got 35 players ahead of him. He goes to Lockyer. Jakovich 26 disposals, 22 to Fletcher and Cousins. For Collingwood, Buckley sitting down with 32. Scotland 21 and Adkins 20. Long kick by Lockyer. Sierakowski, another mark. Mark number 8. The Eagles work it. They want to switch play. They do successfully. Carroll's got all the time in the world to gather the footy. Gets a shepherd from Hunter.
Guess what?
It's unbelievable. Another floating punt marked by Cloak. And this is one positive as well, because it looked pretty nasty in the 2nd quarter when he came off. But it's worked out to be nothing more than a bit of a cork, and Johnson's kick's poor as well. Haynes from 50 metres to the goal square. Phil Matera at the back. Bounced off the right knee of the Collingwood defender, and Phil Matera gets up, holding that right calf. Might be just a touch of cramp. Another behind. 16-12, 108. West Coast. Collingwood 7-8-50. 24 minutes gone. About 4 to go. Make that 3:38.
Johnson now towards Fraser. Cox and Gardner have been outstanding. They have dominated the ruck, but also taken marks around the ground.
Yes, and it's allowed them to leave Sierakowski at centre-half forward, and his re-inclusion today has been a very positive one, as has Adkins for Collingwood.
18 marks between Cox and Gardner, and throw in 8 from Sierakowski, and the big men are certainly dominated, and Lynch himself has now chimed in with 4 of his own.
Yes, Lynch now from 55, and that is an absolute shocker.
Well, the moment he let go with his right hand off the football, it dropped on his boot on the 45. It wasn't going anywhere else but out of bounds on the full.
That didn't even qualify to be a helicopter.
I'm sure Chris Mainwaring's retired.
Collingwood, no. Now, Wakeland forced to kick long, back to Cox and Fraser once again. Cox. Dimatina wrapped up by Michael Bruin. So we're inside the last 3 minutes. 58-point lead to the West Coast Eagles. As we mentioned, an excellent crowd here this afternoon. And the West Coast continue their very good run at Subiaco as Burns kicks it forward. Adkins was the target. Right with him, Colica once again.
They haven't lost as a home team at Subiaco Oval this year. Of course, they lost the Derby last week.
Yes, this will make it 9.
Port Adelaide, the only successful team at Subiaco Oval from interstate this year. Burns to Scotland, got better as the game's gone on. Kick inside 50, Rocker and Jakovich. Bounce phases Dimatina. He will just put an end-over-end punt for a consolation goal for the Pies. They're 8th.
Nothing there really to get too excited about. You can see that through the Collingwood players. No reaction whatsoever as Gardner comes off for West Coast. As you see this again, Rockers driving forward, poor bounce again, and Fletcher just caught behind there. But Dimatina, at least he scored the goal. Late inclusion at the just before the game with Prestigiacomo, and they have missed him too. They've needed someone like Prestigiacomo just to sit at centre half back or full back and hold up.
Second goal of the quarter for Collingwood. There's that footy. Some players have had problems getting a drop punt with it. Lockyer over the back. West Coast with the numbers. Jakovich goes to ground. It squeezes the handball out only as far as Davis. Good tackle by Hunter.
Interesting, Jakovich will go from being suspended for this game to probably getting 3 Brownlow votes.
Yes, it's amazing, isn't it? 27 possessions. 2 of the prime movers of Collingwood there in Licuria and Buckley, and every picture tells a story. Rocker. It's a clever knock, but he just had no support. Jakovich goes out of bounds.
18 kicks, 9 handballs, 3 marks, total 27 disposals for Glen Jakovich. It's been solid. 108 plays 56 inside the final 2 minutes at Subi. Colica. It's almost as if the players are happy to see this clock run down. Leon Davis, tough day at the office, just the 6 disposals. Now, Miss Brodie Holland's 8 goals from round 2. Then again, Wilson did kick 5 for the West Coast on that occasion. Was Davis held without the footy? Burns got it out. Batheris to Didak, left foot. Floater through from one. No, free kick. It's going to go to Chambers. A free kick to Chambers. Score won't count for a high tackle after that tackle was delivered on Didak. It is here, and yep, there's the treatment. Didak not happy. It's pretty soft, mind you. The Eagles can relieve. Wapunda will go out wide, and Colica takes a very good chest mark. Doesn't do too much wrong, Michael Colica.
Yes, he's very solid at the back. This man has just really enjoyed his afternoon. Jakovich. Good kick, finds Green. Judd with one of his traditional runs. Couple of bounces, squeezes the kick through the gap. Off to Hunter. Haynes it is. Haynes kicks the goal. Too easy for the West Coast Eagles. They move that ball with a lot of ease through the midfield. Applause from their captain. And Haynes has kicked his second.
Yes, and leg speed's so important in today's football, not only to get yourself across the ground, but get to the right positions, but more importantly is using that leg speed to carry the footy, then giving the ball to the correct option in front of you, which they've done more often than Collingwood today. And Judd, who tends to fight in and out of the game a little bit, he does spend some time on the bench. He is only a young fellow. Good player.
Many of the young brigade asked to step up this year under coach John Worsfold, and David Haynes, Adam Hunter, Callum Chambers have done same. Cox. There is Chambers under a strong tackle. Dimatina shovels it out.
Yes, and the important thing there too, Tim, is that the younger players who tend to fluctuate with their form, the moment they become more consistent, it just helps your senior players. Then they become the cream on the cake. They can do a lot of the harder work, and it's showing up in the way they've performed.
Almost an even money game coming into this contest as Batheris hand passes. Lockyer and Burns finally sorted out. Dimatina put it on the ground. Braun looping hand pass. Have the Eagles got time for one more goal? Chambers has time to have two bounces. He's called to run down, and hand pass is not great. Sirikoski. Speaking of not great, that was worse. Siren sounds. And the Eagles continue their winning run at Subiaco. And the interstate loads continue. Collingwood join the queue.
Yes, a marvellous victory for the West Coast Eagles. Michael Pro and Troy Wilson out of the side, but they would be very happy with a game that Glen Jakovich has really enjoyed. They've won every quarter. He's perhaps just checking the ball. He handed it back and said, what's wrong with this ball? Nothing as far as Phil Matera is concerned. He was the leading goal scorer with 4, 1 in each quarter. Ross Glendinning. A good performance by West Coast. They're heading towards the finals. Perhaps they'll play in the finals with only the one away win against Carlton by a point.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, that's why it was so important today. Once you got the ascendancy over Collingwood, just to push it forward and to restrict Collingwood as they had in the second half was very important.
Well, Lockie Reid is down on the ground and he is with Glen Jakovich.
Now, Jacko, Tim Gossage made a great point. You've gone from being suspended during the week to possibly 3 Brownlow votes. How does that make you feel?
It was just good to obviously get through the week. It was a tough week, Lockie, but look, once I got the all clear, I greeted my team and I really look forward to playing today. I was a bit disappointing last week, a bit undisciplined, and I owed the club and the boys a good one today, and thankfully the result came our way.
The complete team effort today, wasn't it? And now you can start thinking about finals.
Yeah, well, you know, we've won 10 games and we've worked hard all year, so, you know, let's go for it. I mean, we're in a position, we've worked ourselves in this position, and you know, I'd be livid if we just finished 9th or 10th and missed out because we, you know, dropped off towards the latter part of the year. And something that we've been working on is our second halves of the year. And let's hope for, you know, the club and the young guys that we're playing finals footy.
Thanks very much, Jacko. Well played, buddy.
Marvellous performance by Glen Jakovich and the West Coast Eagles here at Subiaco. We'll take a break with the home side victorious by 58 points.